Hey guys, welcome back to Unleashing. I wanted to make a quick video today on prepping, and I was gonna have some gear set on and stuff like that, maybe a couple like go bags and things, but I can't do that with what I'm currently doing, so I'm just gonna kind of go over it and talk about it a little bit. To be completely honest, I have been prepping for about 15 years, and I can tell you that even within that time, there's always stuff that you find, you're like, oh my gosh, that'd be handy, or I need this. And you can't take everything with you at the same time. So when you are prepping, you're thinking of tools and things you could use in a situation where it was survival. You want to use things that are going to be multi-applications. Like you can, you can chop with it, you can dig with it, you can use it for something, multiple different purposes, so that you're getting multiple uses out of one item for weight purposes and things. You're going to find real fast that if you were in a bug out situation, you're carrying things, or those that have previously been in the military, when you're rucking stuff around, it quickly can weigh down on you. Even what feels light in a situation that you're just holding now, carry that for 15-20 miles or something, and you're gonna want to kill yourself. It's brutal. So keeping things light, is important. But for about 15 years, I've been stocking up on different things here and there. I've got kits for all kinds of things. I've got stuff where I could go out in the woods and make like a log cabin if I needed to. I've put together different things. I've saved up different foods over the year. They're ready to go meals, MREs, and other ones that you can buy for camping, stuff like that. Mountain home and stuff like that, where they have like 20-year shelf lives and stuff. And whenever I had a little bit extra, I'd buy them. And now I've got duffel bags full of them and stuff like that. And it's not really to live on as much as it is to save you in a situation, you end up having to leave in the middle of the night, or something goes down, having a place that that you can go to so you can rest your mind, at least for that night, get something to eat, and then start coming up with plans. It's super important, instead of going into nothing, trying to make it all at that once, with the stress of your mind and trying to hunt and kill something, and turn it into jerky or whatever else. So anyways, but I kind of wanted to go over this a little bit. Like you see, you just can't, there's always something else you're going to need. So you make do with what you have. But in light of the way that things are going and how far stuff has been pushed back, and I'm talking about God holding back the tribulation starting, all right? All preps that I've always had, and I've said it before, were if America was to break down, I had to escape out of America or survive in America, whatever, it would be to survive in that. To survive in the tribulation is a completely different thing. It's unsurvivable, okay? The point isn't to survive the tribulation. It never has been. It's the adult spanking where you're like, oh my gosh, I give it up. Anything that you're holding on to, the house, the money, or whatever else, when you watch it burn instantly, and now you're running for your life, you're going to say, I guess it really wasn't that important, wasn't it? Okay, God, I totally get it. You're the number one priority. Please forgive me. And unfortunately, you're going to die in that situation within the first 3.5 years. All right, Christians are going to be the number one hunted priority in the tribulation. You guys should see the videos that YouTube has taken down. They released AI on my videos last year and took down like 30 something of them within like a couple weeks. It was just back to back. I was getting notifications daily where they were going in there taking them down. But you should see the videos that they taken down. They're not talking about this and stuff like that. The videos that they were taking down are Revelation 13 is in the first half of the tribulation. Now, why in the F would YouTube care about that, right? Praying for your enemies, as opposed to praying against them. The video where I was talking about you don't pray for Satanists, the Joe Biden administration, or Satan, all right? You pray against their darkness or principalities, and that their regimes don't flourish against the murdering and killing of Christians and things like that, okay? These are the videos that they were going through and they were taking down last year. So like, like I say, it shows exactly what they know is coming, what's going to happen, and stuff like that. And my point is the Antichrist comes out right in the beginning. There is no, he comes out at the second half of the tribulation. It's rip-roaring right from the start. Stuff is already broke down in the meantime, enough for them to cause a peace deal. They give all the power to them. And then it leads up to the climatic midpoint of the tribulation, when he goes into the temple, he desecrates it. And from that point on, when basically everybody's been killed off, 6 billion people have been killed off. And I've ran through the numbers multiple different times for you guys. All right, the seventh trumpet blows when the two witnesses are resurrected, just after they get resurrected and go up. The seventh trumpet, okay? And you have teachers and pastors all over the world that are saying, no, the trumpets are in the second half, and you can go right to the Bible right now, and you can look, and right then the trumpets blow right when the two witnesses come back. All right, this is the start of the second half, and this is the point that Israel has gone into the wilderness. The point is that if that's the seventh trumpet, then all seven seals and all seven trumpets have blown in the first 3.5 years. The death toll from that, from the fourth horseman, a quarter of the Earth's population, 2 billion. Now it's down to 6 billion because we're at 8 billion right now. And then at the sixth trumpet blowing, where another 2 billion, or 1/3 of them die or whatever, it's another 2 billion. That's 4 billion people between those two. All right, not to count the other stuff that happens. You can see how bad the death toll is. Now, in the meantime, in the midst of that, all right, Christians are going to be hunted priority number one. All right, they're already lining things up, turning Christians or anything they say into hate speech. The Bible, they're going to ban it. They're going to be burning it. It's going to be Nazi, the whole thing in Germany, all right, all over again. It's going to be happening, okay? But it gets off to a rip-roaring start. That's my point. Nobody survives it. It's not about that. It's about turning to God, repenting, and you realizing, okay, I shouldn't have been holding on to this stuff. This is the adult lesson I finally got, and I didn't want to get, but I needed, so that I could turn to God, okay? So all the prepping that I'm talking about is all this stuff leading up to the start of the tribulation and the rapture that happens right before that, right at the start of it. All right, so that's the kind of prepping I'm talking about. All that stuff that I was just talking about is kind of a little backstory about how bad it is and why it's not survivable. But surviving up to that, it is possible. People have made it through hard times. There's been hard times all throughout history and stuff like that. Have I always thought that it would go that way? No, I wasn't really sure. And for a long time, I thought that maybe the way things were going was God was going to hopefully get us out of here before any of that started. But you know, that's hopeful. And the way that things look, it doesn't look like that at all. It looks like things are going to break down before that happens. And the point being is, you want to have some sort of preps. If you're alive and you know about God right now, all right, and you haven't told anybody about God, right, like I've told you to, when things start to break down, people start searching for answers, and they start to turn to God. If you have that ability to talk to Him, then you not going to Him, it's going to be flipped. They're going to be coming to you. They're going to be looking for answers, and now is going to be an opportunity for it. If you die because you didn't have any preps or you weren't ready, that's not going to help anybody in any situation. All right, you're going to have to dig deep and try and make it through that. There's going to be stuff, obviously, where you're not making it without God. That's for sure. But being somewhat prepared, and I've talked about this off and on throughout videos over the years. That Christians should be ready for any situation. You're supposed to be ideal in all circumstances. Like a Renaissance man or woman. All right, and ready for any of those situations. But this would be that time that would happen, all right? And so to have preps or be like somewhat prepared, it's a smart thing to do. And honestly, that's why I've done it for years, off and on, and I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got it all over the place. So I've got backups upon backups, and if one thing gets compromised, I got stuff in other areas. I mean, I just got stuff all over the place, and I've done it, just so I can be ready, so that if anything happens, like, I'm not a victim right from the start, because I have a powerful voice, and if it gets into dark times, being able to still talk to people at those darker times, it's actually a huge advantage, because they're more apt to listen, all right, especially when things are on the line, all right? So one of the first things that you're going to need is any sort of weaponry, all right? If you're in Australia, I'm so sorry you guys don't have any guns. That sucks so bad. If you're down in your area, you're gonna have to find some way to improvise when it comes to weaponry. But you need self-defense. A person that can't defend himself is a victim, And when regimes come rolling through and you can't shoot back or swing a sword or anything like that back, you you become a quick victim. So having some sort of weaponry is going to be super important. You know, a gun that you can rely on with ammo that you have stocked up that you can use, hunt, shoot, protect yourself with. That's super important. Okay. Another is water. All right. You want to have not just a water supply that you're ready, but you want to have a filtration system. If you can't get to clean water, if you're drinking from clean water stream, that's ideal. Then you got plenty of it. You know, you want to have some canteens and stuff like that. But if you don't, you're going to want to have some sort of filtration system. And that one that I like isn't, it's not LifeStraw, it's the other one. I can't think of it right now, but I'll flash a picture of it when I think of it for this video. And they work really good, and you can filter up to like 100,000 gallons with the small one, like 1 million with the big one. They last like a lifetime, and they come with a little syringe, and you can blow out any debris that gets in there and backwash it. But it uses little microscopic holes, and it filters out any parasites and things like that. So having something like that for your water supply, that's going to be important, and having multiple ones, you know, so you have some backup. And another is ready to go food. I'm not talking about luxury stuff. I'm talking about like rice and beans. All right, this stuff lasts forever, but if you could put that in like a 5-gallon bucket, all right, and just store it, you know, maybe with some sort of some oil or something like that, or even lard, whatever. That's gonna be good. You throw some spices in there and make several of these buckets. You know, it's cheap, it's easy. It's not gonna be like I say a luxurious meal, but it's gonna keep you alive. You're gonna get carbohydrates and protein and stuff like that that you need. And then anything else that you could plant along the way, from organic seeds that you could get. You know, if things were gonna last that long, or being able to hunt and you know, get some food that way, it's going to be essential, you know. But I definitely think it's something that every Christian should have on their mind right now, that the way that things are going. We don't know if it's even going to make it to the elections. I mean, there's so many things that they've done that we've watched them do. I mean, when the Bible speaks of the false prophet calling down fire from the sky, I mean, I hope you guys know that is speaking of direct energy weapons. He doesn't have powers. He's not talking to God. They're talking about direct energy weapons, all right? And we've been seeing him use it the whole time. The point that that's being spoken of in Revelation, and we're talking this time, shows you we're right in the end times. We're really having it happen right now. It's just dragged on a lot longer than anybody expected, and me included. I honestly thought that I had no time when I started off in 2014, actually 2013, and took off when God sent me out. But things have gone on for 10 whole years, and it's amazing. I mean, I never would have thought. But it's getting up to a wire. I think even the bad guys are surprised about it. They wanted to have a basic universal income. They wanted to do in Canada. They wanted to start it in America by 2021. And there's been backlash from the public that haven't put up with this crap. Truthers, videos and stuff that's come out. It's been a hamper in their diabolical schemes. So I think they're even surprised that stuff didn't go as smoothly as they want. But these guys are playing chess, and they have the pieces. They're putting the directives and the orders together through corrupt judiciary stuff, and they're moving things forward in one way or another, and they're eventually gonna get it. I mean, it's being held back by God right now, but it's only a matter of time, unless there's some bloodshed and fighting that starts. And of course, that doesn't happen, because until people are ready to unite against it, which of course in a united situation means you're gonna lose your home. If civil war stuff breaks out, you're going to lose probably your properties and all kinds of stuff in this problem. And when that happens, there's people that are holding on to that so much that they don't want that to go. So in the meantime, they're loyalists. They're loyalists to the government. If you were to start something yourself, if you were to make things happen, they would turn you in just so things could go back to normal for another month, and then they would still have their house burned down and stuff anyways. But people do that until they realize that there's no saving this. It has to stop. It has to be stripped from. It has to be destroyed from the top down. Then there's not going to be any unity on this sort of thing, you know. So it is moving in that direction, all right. And, you know, I've been watching all this stuff happen, and it's disgusting. The people that are coming across the border, what they've discovered, I mean, them having them taken care of, spending billions of dollars on the hotels and stuff that they stay in, the food that they're getting for these people, these fighting age men that are coming in by the thousands and millions that they have, like, you know, by the Biden administration. Meanwhile, they're running these child protection things that are actually fronts for sex trafficking for children and stuff like that, run through Jill Biden or whatever, who's running it with Joe Biden behind the scenes. I mean, they're working every single angle, and it's disgusting. That's why I say you don't pray for these guys. There's no turning back for these guys. We don't even, as far as I'm concerned, Joe Biden died, just like his niece said, like 5 years ago. This isn't even him. It's either a clone or his twin or whatever that they have in the White House that they're using for power and stuff like that. And he's a mouthpiece for Obama, you know. Like I say, it's not something that you pray for, that they're going to get better, or they're going to have a revelation and turn to God. These people have already sold out. It's like praying for the Antichrist, reading Revelation, and hoping that he turns from what happens, what's already been written by God that happens. You're not changing anything, so you pray against it. You pray against these abominations, and for Christians and stuff to wake up, and that their plans want to go in. You pray for God to send in angels and hamper the plans of these dark forces that are, you know, murdering kids, stealing people, sex trafficking, and everything else. You pray against it, right? That's what I'm saying. YouTube's taking down videos like that where I've mentioned stuff like that. And it's like, why? Because the forces of darkness know the power of prayer and stuff like that. And unfortunately, it's the, like I say, proverbial courtroom. The Christians, the majority of them, the people that I talk to, everybody out there that just is just completely blind to everything, and how late in the game we're actually into this. But if you are awake, if you know, prepping is something that should be on your list to do. It should have been the whole time, and you're gonna need to have some plans. So I want to emphasize this, because we never know when it's going to finally break. And if you might be in a situation where you could stay where you're at if you're on a farm or something like that away, but a lot of people are going to have to bug out. So having a spot to go to, having it pre-planned and stuff, it's a really smart idea. I want you to think about that. Some of the things you can do is you can take your family up on the weekend, and you can find a place in the mountains where you go to. You're not going to want to go to a campground and stuff like that. Every hillbilly with their RV is going to show up at these places. They're going to run through their supplies instantly, and then people are going to get weak, and then they're going to want to go back to FEMA camps and stuff like that. You're going to want to stay away from that stuff as much as possible. So, I mean, having 2 or 3 different spots, if one falls through, you have another one you can go to, and deciding where you're going to go to and how you would get there, and planning it with your family so that they know. So if maybe your kids at a friend's house or something like that, they could figure out a way to get there, or come up with a plan, or where you guys could meet up. You know what I'm saying? It's super important. And then another thing to do is trying to carry all the stuff that you would have prepped, like I'm saying, buckets of food, water, and filtration systems and stuff like that. Maybe guns. If you can find a place that you would go to that would be good, that you have planned, pre-prep that place. Dig a cache there. Bury some stuff, in the buckets and everything else, so it's already there for you. So when you're showing up, you're not showing up to nothing. Get maybe a stable little shelter going where all you have to do is throw a tarp over it, but you already have the framework for it. So you have like a shelter or whatever else. I mean, these are just a couple different ideas that you could think of, and I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you think of some stuff that you could do. But honestly, in the time that we're in, it's something serious that we need, that honestly everybody should be taking into consideration, because things just going quietly and gentle, and then all of a sudden the rapture happens. I don't see that as being a possibility. When I was showing the rapture, I was in a terrible mood, and it was like the worst stuff ever, it seemed like. And then when the UFO showed up, I said, oh great, now this. Whatever had been going on, it didn't seem like it was good at all. It seemed like things were in short supply. I was in some sort of line or whatever in the gas station, probably because food and stuff was getting very scarce and it was hard to get. I'm not sure what was going on in that situation, but I remember I was just in the worst mood ever, and then everything flipped instantly when the rapture happened. Right now, the tribulation, I don't believe it started or anything like that, because I believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. But like you say, right when the UFOs first showed up and stuff, they were doing it at the same time the rapture was taking place, and that's what I saw. So anyways, but these are just a few ideas. I mean, like I say, you can't have enough preps, but having everybody be able to do their part, if you've got kids that are of age, teaching them how to shoot if they don't, them being equipped or ready with a rifle, that's all smart stuff, especially if you're going to stick together as a family and things, if you're going to try the community idea, I don't know what to say about that. I know if you're out east, it seems like there's no other choice. All the property on every single level has been bought out up east, back east, whereas back in the west, the whole Rocky Mountain Range, National Park, stuff like that, there's there's land forever that you can go into and you can get lost in, and that's nice because I mean you can run to that. Whereas if you're back east in the U.S., there's less spots to do that, so it makes it harder, you know. So I don't really know what to say. I wouldn't want to be in any city situation or anything like that. So I mean, if you're trusting a community, I'd only keep it as a front, and I'd find a back way to get out of there because community stuff, it doesn't last. As soon as things starts getting scarce, they're going to start betraying each other, turning on each other, and it's going to get hectic. You're not going to want to be around it. So anyways, but you know, like you say, I just wanted to brush over this lightly, and I have lightly talked about it before at different times, but I want to kind of like, you know, really encourage you. You should be making plans for this. Since last year, I've doubled down. I mean, like I said, I've off and on prepped for about 15 years now, but since last year, I have doubled down big time on everything that I would need, that I could think of, and I'm not going to stop leading up to whatever's going to happen. Whether the election gets stolen, whether they start something that it doesn't even happen, whether Trump gets in and there's so much political crap that's been put in place, nothing gets taken care of, and they're still able to do stuff behind the scenes. Whether you know, Trump's a shill and he's been working with them the whole time, you know, and it's all just been a front so that we stay quelled instead of attacking the government like we should have been doing the whole time. Whatever it is, being ready for whatever that situation where it breaks down, because when it goes down, it can be hot and heavy. It can be really fast. Like you say, all the banks go down in one night or whatever. It's going to be pandemonium. You're not going to be able to buy anything. So if you already have preps, if you got food that's in place, it doesn't have to be luxurious. That's what I'm saying. Rice and beans. All right. Stuff like that where it can last in bags in a bucket for years, and you don't have to worry about that, right? You can stuff it, put it away, and you can get several months worth for like $300 or something. You know what I'm saying? It's totally doable. Having that set up in that way, it's going to give you a little bit more of a comfort, so when it does go down, and it's going to, that you're not freaking out completely, you know, and completely caught off guard. And I don't want people to be. I want people to be, you know, as aware as they possibly can and stuff. Like I say, you can only prepare so much, and the rest you're going to have to trust in God. But I feel like that I've been needing to put this out for several weeks. And I was going to do it, like I say, I was going to just kind of show out like some bags and stuff that I have set up with some different things, you know. But I can't do that right now because I'm out on the road and things. So I just want to talk about it, you know. But having some decent backpacks, rucks, whatever you got that you can use that are pre-equipped, that you can grab them, stuff them, throw them in a car, and you're going to have extra pairs of clothes. You're going to have things that you need, some sort of, you know, knives that you can use for, you know, making like utilities for like eating with, as well as making 550 and stuff like that, rope for putting together little shelters and stuff. I mean, all this is important. There's tons of different things you can think of and use, you know. And like I say, if you can pre-prep the stuff where you go up and you pre-get it all there, then you're not carrying it all at once. It's something that you can drive to. Just make sure it's not going to be around where people are going to be gathering, and it's not like it's some RV park or some campground, because if that's what you're planning on, that place is going to be filled instantly, and all your stuff's going to be compromised. So anyways, you know, I might touch more on this a little bit later, but honestly, I'm forcing myself to make a video right now and to go over this subject because I've been trying to for a while, and and I wanted to talk about it. So, you know, if you're asking what I'm doing, what I'm planning on, I've been prepping the whole time, all right? That's what I'm planning on. Whether that happens or not, and I believe that it will, but if it's not, well, it's whatever. But if you are ready, it's like I say, you know, it's better to be a warrior and a gardener in a garden than a gardener in a war, right? You want to be prepped. If you don't need it, then it doesn't matter anyways, but it's better to be prepped if something goes down, because at least then you're ready. You know, you're ready to do something. Going quietly into the night for the government's sake, F that. Make it difficult on their ass. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, these guys are Satanists anyways. I've said it the whole time, you know. That's why you don't pray for them, you pray against them. They're an abomination. A lot of them aren't even human. It's disgusting, all right? Anyways, I just want you guys to think about this, all right, a little bit. Come up with some ideas. There might not be that much time for it, you know. But if there's 6 months, use that time. Anything extra that you get, and start having this discussion with your family, and start start seriously considering it, because the way things are going, it's not going to get better. And if people are like, no, things are going to get better, Trump's going to get in, everything's going to be taken care of, like the 66,000 indictment thing that was happening back in the day, right, before during the Obama administration, before Biden and stuff like that, right? It's the same nonsense. Don't listen to it. Quietly prepare yourself, and then when the time's right, you slip out, and then they die and you survive, right? And that might be like the only chance that you get. So, take it seriously. Wherever you are in the world, it's not just coming to America, it's coming worldwide. Be ready as you can be all over the place, because we don't know when it's going to break down, and the more prepared you are, the more you can handle any situation that comes. You're to be warriors for God, and if you're prepped and you're prepared, you're just going to be that much more dangerous in helping people and talking to them about God, and being that strong pillar that they need when the currents of the river are trying to wash them away, right? They can grab onto what you stand for. So anyways, God bless. Hopefully this gives you some ideas or helps you a little bit. Hopefully it does. But take it seriously, and don't be just betting that things are going to be totally fine leading right up to the rapture, because I don't think they are. I think it's going to get nasty first. All right. So be as ready as you can. All right. God bless. I'll talk to you next time. Later.